Is the president's crypto reserve the new wooden nickel? Digital fiefdom has entered the chat. A seemingly innocuous scene in a film. A simple insert shot of a man paying for his drink at a juke joint with a crumbled up bill and a weathered wooden nickel grabbed my attention, giving me stark clarity on our shifting economy. As the creeping tendrils of platform-based economies throttle the market, fueled by the president's push for a crypto reserve, private equity gobbling up all of the real estate property, and the rise of techno feudalism, it seems very clear to me that we're witnessing the centralization of the economy and the risk of platform-based currencies becoming the second turning of the wooden nickel. The film I'm referencing is Sinners, the Ryan Coogler film that had sunk its teeth into the American psyche. The dilemma the twins faced, besides vampires, was their fight to make their juke joint financially solvent in Company Town. A company town, or city where a single industry fuels the economy, issued their own currency that had no use beyond their ecosystem, creating a type of bondage to maintain power and control over its workers. Now tech companies have pushed proprietary platform ecosystems with their own currency, and the president's push to centralize crypto systems have grave implications for our autonomy and collective bargaining power. My parents grew up in the Deep South, and I remember my grandmother speaking of wooden nickels. She even showed me a few she had in a drawer with other rare coins and memorabilia from a time long past. Naturally, I asked what it was for. She said, to buy things. We went down memory lane, a dark history of financial abuse by whites to maintain power and control over the mostly black population in the South. My grandmother has long passed, but that simple scene flooded my memories. Once upon a time in America, there was a proliferation of these company towns, whereas the company owned everything from the general store to the homes and the lands the people lived, worked, and died on. Hershey, Pennsylvania, Kohler, Wisconsin are amongst the most notable of these towns, but agricultural and coal mining communities have historically been singled out for a particular type of financial abuse within the company towns. Nickels or credits were distributed in lieu of money, controlling their ability to own property, or in many cases, leave the town for better opportunities. With your housing tied to your employment by the company, a neo-slavery economy was born. Fast forward to our current reality, where the president has launched his own crypto and a centralized national Bitcoin and digital assets reserve, which has already shown signs of volatility and manipulation in the market. And although platform-specific currencies have been used in the gaming world for years, other tech companies are beginning to pick up the mantle, with Amazon, Facebook, and TikTok getting into the game with their own coins. These new digital fiefdoms are only the beginning, and we are heading into a future defined by economic dependence, mirroring the restrictive practices of company towns. Though there are obvious differences between the two, namely the tangible and the intangibility of the currencies, the potential for the new currencies to become systems of control are eerily similar. But the greater question is whether we will be diligent enough to maintain broader usability. Decentralization in theory offers safeguards, but the implementation and governance is a very complex issue and must be watched closely as our economy evolves.